Hello, my name is Okechukwu Nzelu. I'm the author of The Private Joys of Nnenna Maloney, this novel that you can see here. And thank you so much to the judges for longlisting me for the Polari First Book Prize. It's such a huge honour. Thank you. I'd like to read to you from almost the very beginning of the novel, in which a group of young Christians in Cambridge in 1992 are trying to decide on a quotation from the Bible that they can use to slap on a postcard and distribute around the city and convert the unbelievers that they meet. It's not going very well. Well then, said Jonathan Tucker, a maths graduate whose strategy in meetings consisted of staying silent for the first 20 minutes, then calmly and evenly saying something deeply stupid. If we're after something attention-grabbing, why don't we go with something with a bit more Sturm und Drang? A little fire and brimstone never hurt anyone. What about... He feigned uncertainty. What about... Oh, I don't know. Leviticus 18:22. Morris quoted without hesitation, "You shall not lie with a male as with a woman. It is an abomination." Yes. Morris sighed. He liked Jonathan. Truth be told, he was the most earnest one of the group. More so even than Morris himself, perhaps, who was passionate but unsure. Jonathan's fervour was different. It burned off him constantly, like sulphur, and there were days when you could smell it on him from across the room. To Jonathan, they weren't merely students of the Bible or Christians or even evangelicals. They were the latest in a long line of prophets, like Jeremiah, called to teach the way of the law to an uninterested world. Unfortunately, Morris often got the sense that Jonathan actually liked the world to be as uninterested as possible. He spoke gently. "We're going to cafes, Jonathan. Cafes. And I'm not being funny, but at the end of the day, we are in Cambridge." "What are you saying?" "I'm saying I think we have to be realistic about the kinds of people we're likely to come across. I think we ought to lay our beliefs on the line." "You shall not lie with a male as with a woman," Jonathan said again, for emphasis. "Call me old-fashioned, but our beliefs..." "They're not all of our beliefs," said Morris. "I mean, they're mine, sort of, maybe, but..." "I agree with Morris," said Alistair, a calm and muscular carpenter who had come to the meetings in the hope of lying with Jonathan as he'd never lain with anyone else. He found Jonathan's broodiness irresistible, and Jonathan's oddly tight button-down shirts, no tie, top button done up, transported Alistair's mind to somewhere south of Eden. That Jonathan was a raging homophobe was apparently no concern of his. "Besides," said Joel, still smarting. Joel was the one who earlier suggested using a poem about a cat. "Besides," said Joel, still smarting, "shouldn't we open with something slightly less confrontational? And everyone likes cat..." "Absolutely," said Alistair. "And I'm with Morris about the likely audience thing too. We can believe what we believe, but aren't we here to spread the good news? If someone's sitting there enjoying a latte, you can't just march up to them and tell them they're going to burn in hell for being a woofter." "Not everyone who likes frothy coffee is gay, Alistair," said Jonathan, glancing nervously at his latte. He put on a gruff voice that made Alistair cross his legs, hum and fold his hands in his lap. Jonathan, conspicuous for bringing the newly fashionable takeaway cups of cafe latte to every meeting, huffed again. "What are you looking at?" he said. "You've got foam on your lip," breathed Alistair, gesturing oh so delicately at Jonathan's mouth. Jonathan blushed and quickly wiped it away. "Right," said Morris firmly. "So we aren't going to use Leviticus 18:22. And we can't use the poem about the cat, I'm afraid. No, Joel, don't look at me like that. We can't. I'm sorry. So, let's keep thinking." They went back to work, flicking through passages familiar and unfamiliar. Joel glancing resentfully at Jonathan, Alistair glancing longingly at Jonathan, Morris pretending to read, but too resentful and frustrated at all the glancing to see any of the words. Eventually, Alistair spoke up, his finger on a verse in his Bible. He was excited, but cautious, like an archaeologist unearthing a delicate find that still might crumble before it saw the light. I think I found something," he said. "Thank you."